And now.
Lights stay flickering, the candles glitter like you're in a thriller. Heart goes pum pum pum. Ghostly figures, they can get so bitter. Sure you want to until you can turn back to. You don't know where I've been. What's going on inside? Where the monsters like to come alive, come alive. Do you really wanna know me? I'm really not that cozy. It's up to you, so you decide, you decide. Would you love me up my words till the coffin's in the dirt? Try to break me like a curse, you know that will never work. I'm a little bit absurd. I like dancing on the verge. Anyone can love a pretty little mansion, but could you love a haunted?
Hello, everyone. It's your fancy, spicy girl Jazz here with the other sweetest Jazz in the world. How you doing, girl? How you been?
I'm good.
You being
Surviving.
safe?
Yes.
Girl,
Safe.
I get it. We were just talking about like 2 seconds ago. I was like, I could not imagine. I don't understand. Florida's crazy. I don't even, well, I told you, I think I tell this story. Anytime I go to Florida, something bad happens to me, so I refuse.
Oh
Yeah,
no.
last time I went, I broke my foot and it was like my 10-year anniversary. And I was like, no, I'm good. I was like, the devil can have it. And every time I go, a layover is like 3 hours there.
Oh no.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I'm cursed in that spot. Florida does not want me, but I'm happy you're safe. That's what matters.
Yes. And you're not the first person to tell me they have bad luck in Florida. So I don't know what that's about.
I don't know. Maybe, I don't know. Y'all have that. Enjoy your life. Be great. Be amazing. I'm not doing it. But give me 1 second. Just making sure we're good on all ends.
Mm-hmm.
Because what is going? Because I know we're having issues with StreamYards today, actually. I came in to do everything and it was like, oh yeah, you're not logged into everything. I was like, are you not?
Oh
Don't play with me
no.
today. But anywho, what are we doing today? What are we talking about?
Well, we're talking about our favorites, things we didn't like, things
Mhm.
we do like. We're getting into our book, Queen Takes Knights.
Night. Mm-hmm. Nights
And
plural.
yes, if we
Just
did
for
a
the
full
viewers, we
summary.
know.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So you
The
should be
full
all
summary.
caught up because we did finish the book summary last time we met. And now we're
Mhm.
just talking about the juicy favorites and giving you a heads up about what's to come.
Exactly. All I know is I still have so many notes about this book. Uh Pretty much I know I did want to go into a little interesting tidbit about it. Uh the book. Let me get to that part.
And let's, I
Pretty
love your background and outfit and makeup. You just look so pretty.
you know what? I took a nap before starting today because I've been very busy. And I woke up and I was like, all my makeup is in the other room. I'm not getting up. So I got all the base. And I was like, nobody will know. And I was like, you know what? I look kind of cute. Oh well. Got
Yes, you look
my
very
fancy
cute.
nightshirt. I appreciate it. You look gorgeous, but you always look gorgeous, girl. I love
Thank you.
this. Like it's very regal and I'm feeling it.
Aw,
Like
thank
powdered
you.
princess. I love it. But so pretty much like the ending of the book, I enjoyed it. I know they talk about a few things about. So just to wrap up, the ending of the book, we learn that she's a possible, the main character. Oh my God, what is her name again? Oh my gosh, Shara.
Shara,
Shara
yes.
Isidore, who's 22 years old. Just to give you guys a little quick back about it, both her parents were killed. When Shara turned 17, her mother is Selena, but we found out later that it's possibly her aunt. I don't think they actually give us like 100% yes or no about that. Nobody could speak about it. There's like a curse about it, so you can't really speak about it. She has two knights, if you will, named Alric and Dare. Um, Rick, or he likes to go by Rick, is a rock troll, and Dare is a werecat or war cat. So that's kind of cute. I still
Yeah.
fucks with that.
Mm-hmm.
Um, we towards the end of the book, okay, we found out that Shira meets with Grayson, I think his name is. Is it Grayson? Who has
Yeah.
been like following her this whole time.
Yeah.
And we learn that she just wants to, or not she, he wants to be under her because of her lineage, her bloodline. He's like, your auntie disrespected me and kicked me out because she left. I need to be under somebody. She plays no games. She was like dead. Like, you're done. Um, that was his word, supposedly. But he also explains that, hinting that, she might be a Leviathan, connected to Leviathan, if you know what that is. It's a demon, usually, that's connected with the underworld. I always thought Leviathan was more of a water type demon. I'm not quite sure, but I think that tracks with different things. We'll figure that out hopefully in the other books.
Yeah.
Um
Every time I hear Leviathan, though, I think of like the season of Supernatural that made me stop watching.
I have to get into. I still haven't watched it. I get so behind on things like that. Leviathan, I
Mhm.
get it from because I love lore. So it's just like Leviathan, the demon, but there's also the water creature that protects Atlantis. There's
Mhm.
also, these other things that I'm like, okay, yeah. Or like some people even confuse it for the Kraken. And I'm like, no, they're two different things, but that's cool. We get it. But anyway, so she might be part that, plus vampire, if you didn't know this was a vampire book. Um, but I think what really gets me confused about, well, not confused, but like at the ending of it, she goes into detail of how she is dreaming. She connects with a raven, who also talks about like a phantom queen. Um, it's just really crazy. Like there's just so many things that we would have to read the next book to kind of keep going. But uh we get a teasing of a new character coming on besides the raven. It's a horse. Because we heard that they were going to be, she was like, I hear glomping or whatever the hell they call it, clopping. She's like, yeah, I hear clopping coming. And I was just like, okay, that's a weird.
Yeah.
I was like, so you just collecting them all like Pokemon. I love that. I love Pokemon. But
Yeah, pretty much.
yeah, I so okay, that's our wrap up for at least that part. But like Jazz, like what did you like about the book? And we'll talk about that first. And then I want to get into the things we didn't like because there's a lot I really didn't connect with.
Yeah, I think overall, I think the lore is really interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Um, this has been actually my first vampire book that I've actually read from start to
Mm-hmm.
finish because usually I'm not that interested in vampires. Not gonna lie, they kind of bore me. I'm like, I
Because
get
it's all
it,
the
you're
same. It's all
undead.
the same.
Yeah, you're undead, you bite people, you drink blood, you can't go out in the sun, yada yada yada. You know what I mean? Like,
Mm-hmm.
but this lore was very interesting because it was connected
Hi.
to ancient deities. Hello,
Mm-hmm.
hi Steph. It was
Mm-hmm.
connected to different deities, and they
Mm-hmm.
grant unique powers to their vampire
Mm-hmm.
descendants, which that was really cool. So you have
Yeah.
like this demigod kind of aspect that makes them vampires, and they even had like different name for vampire.
Mm-hmm.
But we assume that we knew what it was because they
Mm-hmm.
used the word interchangeably.
Mm-hmm.
Like even Shara is like, "Oh, I'm a vampire now," So
Yeah.
it
I,
made it easy to understand.
yeah.
Um, but I think there were really sweet moments. Like we didn't get to it last episode, but like
Mm-hmm.
when Shara makes her transformation,
Mm-hmm.
and she's like presented to Isis, the goddess that she's
Mm-hmm.
descended from, and she meets her mother. And like the way they describe that moment is like so sweet and tender,
Mm-hmm.
and even like Isis, she's very intimidated by,
Mhm.
being in the presence of a goddess all of a sudden.
Mhm.
But even Isis has like a very motherly kind of approach to her.
Mhm.
And I don't know, I really liked the description and the imagery that was created for that moment because it was very grand.
Yeah.
Um, but I enjoyed that a lot. It's something different that I never would have expected from a vampire book, but really cool. It's some of my
Mhm.
favorite things.
I agree. I think those like anything to do with Egypt, Isis, like any of the mythos of like ancient Egypt, I'm down. I love ancient Egypt in general. It's one of my favorite subjects as a kid. I wanted to read hieroglyphs. Like that's how deep I was into that. So it's one of those things where I really enjoyed that. I wish that they dived in a little bit more, maybe potentially in the next book. Maybe, I don't know. Um, but I did love the sweet moments. I thought those were great. I like that she was still very positive about things. She was like, well, not so much positive, but she was like, look, I got to keep it going. I'm not wasting time on y'all. Hurry up or, shit out or get out. Like, I got to go. And very protective of herself. She that girl. She's like, I know how to protect myself. She's smart. She knows how to, survive. Um, I think the other characters like Dare and Alric, I like them, but I also felt like certain moments it was like forced. But I'll get into that in a moment. Um, but again, it could be like this is the first book, right?
Yeah.
So it could be something like that where it's just like we have to just keep watching or reading to get their um evolution. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Hey, how are you?
Hello. Oh,
No,
Anubis is one
Anubis
of
is
Phyllis.
amazing, but I
Mhm.
actually like Isis is one of my favorites. Mut is one of my favorites as well, but she doesn't get talked about enough. Don't get me started. I love that stuff.
Like Queen of the
Yeah.
Down Egypt. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yep. So, because Egypt is in Africa, right? So, and where does everything created from? Let's remind people, right? So, of course, vampires, especially the first vampire, is going to be from. There we go. So, any whooses, I do like the moments when she realized like she had a good protection circle around her. People were like trying to care for her, whatever, whatever, but I also felt like they failed her, especially like when the introduction of the, I guess, the person who runs the estate. She's like, "Oh, I was looking for you this whole time." I'm like, "Bitch, she's been running and you didn't catch her? Like you're telling me at no point in time." My thing is you couldn't even find like the people trying to track her down if she's such a valuable asset, especially because she's going to inherit all of the abilities from Isis. She's
Yeah.
valuable and nobody else was looking for her. So suspicious.
Yeah.
I don't know, but again, next book
It's very
possibly.
suspicious. And the
Yeah.
fact that like there's certain like protections
Mhm.
on her own service, like
Mhm.
she wasn't able to say the name of certain people, like her
Mhm.
aunt, and like literally like passed out trying to give her information.
Mhm.
So it's like your house is already compromised. So that
Exactly.
was, yeah, that was kind of strange to me
Mhm.
too. I'm wondering how she's going to navigate that. But I do like that Shara isn't so naive that she doesn't, think
Oh
about
yeah.
that. Yeah, they wrote her in a way where she's not entirely helpless. Like I hate
Mhm.
reading a protagonist female where she's just
Mhm.
like, "Oh, I need you to save me.
Yeah,
I'm so
exactly.
useless. I can't do
Yeah.
anything." And then it's like the last 5 pages she does something cool that's totally OP for no reason. And you're just like,
She,
"Well,
she's like, "Oh yeah, I'm a
why?"
goddess and I have magical powers and I OP
Right.
everything." And I'm like, "But where was this before? People were dying."
Right. And
But
so at least with Shara, it's a little bit more progressive when you
yeah.
see her start to like, one,
Mhm.
she's shocked about everything, but she
Mhm.
knows some parts. Like she knows how her parents
Exactly.
were killed, so she believes that these monsters exist. So a
Mhm.
lot of it, she can process,
Mhm.
but like she kind of grows into like that
Mhm.
role. I think in a really nice pace. So that was
I
also
agree.
something I liked. Yeah.
I think overall for me, if I could give the book like a breakdown, Shara is one of my favorite female characters, like female leads in the characters. Um who is not, like I said, she's not weak-minded at all. She's a survivor. She's like, look, I
Mm-hmm.
don't trust you. She didn't trust the dudes when they first approached her. She didn't do nothing. She was like, look, I gotta do what I gotta do. I'm out. Like she does what she has to do, and I appreciate that. And one of my favorites, I would definitely say everybody else is lead to suspicion for me. Besides, except for Dare. For some odd reason, I got no beef with Dare. He's
Yeah.
just like a cute puppy, like honestly, or cute kitten. He's just like, I'm just here for the fun. Like I'm here to protect you because that's my job, but like also I'm chill. I'm trying
Let
to think. What?
Dare and Auric, like I want to like them a lot, but let's see. I like
Yes.
an Egyptian vampire better than Royal Empire. Royal Vampire.
Fair
Oh, I
vampire.
get what you mean. Yeah.
Yeah, I think like the European version of vampires is so weird. Even though we have like Nosferatu, but even then, it depends on what lore you're looking at. It depends
Mm-hmm.
because mind you, if we're gonna be 100%, if you know anything about vampire lore, like this girl does, is while you have Akasha, depending on which again story we're talking about. If you're looking at timeline, you would have one started in Egypt or started in Africa. However, they would be descendants of that. So if we're talking about the European vampire being Nosferatu or being Dracula, they are still descendants of. He's not the first.
Mm-hmm.
So let's remember that. But anyway, sorry, I riffed it. Please
Yeah.
continue.
But Dare and Auric, Dare and Auric are essentially her knights that come to the rescue. Like they find her, and they're like, "Hey, we want to be your blood, basically like your posse."
Hmm.
Um, in order to get them to be locked in, like officially, she has to drink
Hmm.
from them, and they have to drink from her, and that happens. But
Hmm.
like, there's mentions that like they have been in service with other vampire queens,
Hmm.
and they basically was just like, oh well, we wanted our own queen, so we went and looked for you, which I think is a little suspicious too, because I'm like,
Hmm.
you just up and left like your people
Well,
on a
that's the
limb.
thing. Well, that's the thing too, is that so like the queen that they were serving, if I remember, they were saying that they also are kind of like on the behest of them because she wants more people to kind of like strengthen her position. So the
Yeah,
more people she has on her side, which is Gucci, but I also feel like you're suspecting. I'm assuming
it's
it's
a
like, how
setup.
loyal are you? How
Yeah,
how flimsy is the loyal just because I give you my blood? Are you really for me?
that and the
Because
fact that they're very entitled. Like
oh yeah.
yeah, when she talks to the guy who is like the watcher who
Yeah.
graced him, and
Mhm.
he tells her, I want to be your blood. I was your mother's blood. I was
Yeah.
loyal to her until she ran away and
Yeah.
basically starved me for
Yeah.
years. And then I found her and I drank too much. It was a total accident.
Yeah.
But, like, can I be your blood? And they were talking over her like, you
Yeah.
can't you're not acceptable and
Yeah.
stuff. And he
And
had to check them. He was like, since when does the queen listen to her thralls? Like, know
yeah.
your place. And I thought so too, because I'm like, that's not the
Mhm.
second time, especially Dare. That's
Yeah.
not the first time Dare has
Yeah.
challenged her authority. Because like
Mhm.
they went shopping and he was like, put this on. And she's like, excuse me?
Yeah.
No, you don't get to tell me what to do. Don't
Yeah.
forget your role. You told me
Yeah.
this is the role.
I thought
That's
that
how
was
it's gonna be.
Alric. Was it Alric?
It
It
was
could I could
Dare.
I could personally be getting them confused. So
It was
because
definitely Dare. I remember because he
yeah.
was so like gung ho about going
Yeah.
out with her, and at the same time, Ulrich had PMS. He was like
Oh yeah.
angry.
That's what it was. He's like, I'm gonna be here. Yeah, I got you.
He was sulking in the corner, and so yeah.
Hmm.
And when I say PMS, like he literally
Yeah. He was
was
feeding
acting
off of
up.
her. Yeah, he was getting her energy. But you
Yeah,
know what?
because
Yeah.
she was on hers.
No, I agree with you. Actually, that just reminded me of that because it's so suspicious. I think again, I think that's the purpose of it too. Is like to get the reader to kind of jump off of those clues and be like, maybe they're, even though they're for her, but are they really? Because also think about the guy who was taking care, who was under the mom. Like, yeah, like to be fair, he's in survival mode. Like she ran away from him, but how come you didn't find another? Especially if there's others that want, right? But also, um, what was it? It was just like I'm not condoning that he killed the family, but I'm saying that I can understand if this is the way of life they've been going through this whole time. Why was it such a surprise? You know what I mean? Like, why was it such a situation where not only they were not prepared, and how
Mm-hmm.
come he's the only one who could say their name?
Right.
That's So that's another thing. I was like, I'm confused. What is going on? But I feel again like I feel like we'll get more understanding as we get more into the books. I personally though, the world building was okay. It wasn't capturing me. Um I didn't I don't know. I have a thing for characters that suffer too much. And I felt like she had to suffer. Like she's nowhere like the other book I've been trying to pitch. Like, and I pitch it every time, but like at the same time, I don't want to put you guys onto this book because it's so traumatic.
Mm-hmm.
The other book I wanted to read about before, it's really good. Like the premise is beautiful as far as like you have demons, you have animals, like not animals, like all different types of mystical creatures, gods, everything. But like the main character suffers for no reason and they make her suffer and they making this character suffer. Like she doesn't need to suffer the way she did. You're telling me that somebody couldn't help her beforehand? Like what loyalties, how strong is this family loyalty? But then again, politics, right? I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, like the other things again, I didn't like them stepping out of place. Especially I felt like my theory, mind you, this could be 100% wrong.
Yeah.
My theory is they left the other nest. I think it's an Alric thing more than a dare thing because like I said, he's the alpha one,
Mm-hmm.
where he is like, okay, bet, I don't like what they're doing here. I don't like that we can't do what we want. Let's go find this naive queen because nobody knows she exists. Nobody's supposed to know she exists, but you guys know. What's that about? I'm just saying, not
Yeah.
to mention, if I remember correctly, we understand that she's adopted. That's not her real mom, but she doesn't know at this point. So why could they say the adoptive mom Celine's name, but they can't say the birth mother's name? And if it's such a hush hush situation, why are you trying to serve her so bad? You know what I mean? Like trying to, so it's like so many questions. I felt like there wasn't enough teasing for me to want to look it up or like to anticipate the next book, in my
Mm.
opinion. Like it didn't throw me where I'm like, oh my God, I have to read to know. I personally didn't care because I'm annoyed. I was just like, why is all this situation happening for no fucking reason?
It was
So
a
I don't know.
lot because, like, I feel like they threw in so much in the last
Exactly.
like chapter or two, and I was like, "Wait, what?" Because, like, even
Mhm.
like with her possibly being pregnant, and it's like, oh well, you know,
Mhm.
vampires don't have menstrual cycles, but they do bleed
Yeah.
if they're pregnant, and I'm like, wait, huh? Okay, so they're trying to. They never even said if it was conclusive that she was pregnant or
Yeah.
not. So they're just like, we'll have to see. So that was a whole nother like lore drop that I was like, whoa, that's a big
It's
deal.
too
Like,
much.
yeah. And then they're like, okay, also
Mhm.
in this time, you know, we look at your DNA and your mom's not really your mom, even though you saw her in the afterlife and with, you
Yep.
know, like I'm like, so
Exactly.
even Isis is hiding the fact of who her
Mhm.
real mom is.
Yeah.
And then
Like,
they mentioned like the queens of other nations. Her
yeah.
mom went to Europe. Her adopted mom went to
Hmm.
Europe, ran away for a long time, you know, to be a normal human with her husband, or so they say.
Mhm.
But they mentioned that in the U.S. there aren't or haven't been probably since her mom. other American queens.
Yeah.
So I'm like, does that mean that her aunt is the American queen and people just don't want to step or can't say that she exists
Yeah.
because there's this weird like spell on people?
Mhm.
So it did leave me a lot of questions, but it happened so fast. It was like,
Mhm.
oh yeah, I have another book. Just so you know, these are the points and things we're gonna play with. But it was
Oh,
just
dear Lord.
so concentrated into
Mhm.
one like ending that it made my head spin. I was just like, this is a lot.
Yeah.
Like I don't understand why you
You
dubbed
know,
so much.
I feel like, and you know me, I love quick books. Like, just hurry up, tell me, put the schmut in there, let me know. And they did. They delivered. Fucking third chapter. She's like, I want to suck and fuck. And I'm like, go off. Have fun with both of them, baby girl. But then that also irked me too, because like,
She's a
again, I understand the animalistic
virgin.
thing. Yeah, I was like, why? Like, your whole thing, don't get me wrong. I understand hormones as a woman. I get it, the urges. And maybe it's your vampire side. Maybe it's your Leviathan side. From later on, we figure that out. But
Right.
it's a situation of also the fang situation too. Like, she doesn't have fangs. She has these weird teeth things. I don't know. For some odd reason, I imagine as a dolphin. Don't ask me why. Just don't ask me why. But so I'm just like, she got dolphin teeth. That's crazy. So
Mhm.
anyway, she can't bite. They have to cut themselves for her to drink. And she's like, oh my God, I need to have both of them. And I'm like, okay, maybe one, and then like speed it up. But she was like, no, both same time right now. And I'm like,
Even
she's
they were just
ambitious.
like, even they were like, one at a time, please. You
Yeah.
gotta, we got things to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I felt like, again, the thing about this book, it was a lot rushed. And then at the end, it was so much information. And it
Yeah.
was just like that to me does not entice me to read another book. That actually puts me off in a sense, because I'm like, I could just read the ending of all these books at this point and then know everything.
Mm.
Um, I don't
It was
know.
so
Like,
much. I felt like there were some points that I felt were unnecessary. Like
mhm.
the whole shopping and being out,
Oh
like
yeah, just fillers.
it felt like filler. Her, suddenly being on a period and like, yeah, what
Yeah.
happened afterwards is kind of hot, but like,
Yeah.
and I know it was the lead up to like her like them showing like her bond and the issues
Mhm.
with menstrual cycles and stuff. I
Mhm.
understand it, but again, like you said, I don't know that it does entice me to look into the other books just because it was so much, and I'm like,
Mhm.
okay, and she can go into dreams and snatch a feather of
Yeah.
some dead druid, and I'm like,
Yeah.
there's
Mhm.
druids now, and they can
Yeah.
fly and they can speak to her from the beyond the grave, and I'm like, is this an Isis gift? I don't know.
Yeah.
There was so much that just
It felt overwhelming. It really did.
yes,
I felt like, because in the next book, if I remember correctly, like, they're supposed to, of course she's still the star, but they're also introducing a king, which I thought was also interesting, the king situation. So like,
mm-hmm,
there can be a vampire king, but they usually kill them off when they're young, because at a certain point they go crazy. They
yeah.
don't know why. And again, I was like, why? Like, that's interesting, but also go off. I don't know.
I
But I was just
kind of the mention of having a king again, another random lore thing they
yeah,
dropped really heavy. Um,
yeah.
the mention of possibly her dealing with the king was really intriguing to me because I
Mhm.
do like the political court kind of
Mhm.
interior challenges, and it would be interesting to see Auric and Dare have to deal with someone who is
Mhm.
the king.
Yeah.
And I know they're gonna cry because they're very entitled and they
Yeah.
are big
Like,
babies.
mom, no, you're mine. Like, shut up.
Oh, I
Just
want to
smack
be the
him.
alpha.
Yeah, I'm
No.
the alpha. Like, shut
Yeah.
up.
And I
She's
just want to see that if they're if a king is like as unhinged as they say, I really
mhm.
hope like they really lean into that madness because I would love to see that. I love mad characters. I love especially if they're sexy ones. So I'm hoping that yeah,
Yeah.
we get to see a king. That intrigues me the most. But
Hmm.
also I know that there are gonna be other bloods. And so
Hmm.
I'm like,
Yeah, one of
I
them's
don't know.
clomping to her, galloping to her. That's the word.
Yeah.
Like, galloping. We need a bigger bed. I was like, shut up. Shut up, please.
Yeah.
Shut up. I think that was my thing. And not to mention the voice acting. No shame, right? Because they're living my dream. I wish I was a voice, a voice book narrator. But it's a situation I'm just like, no, you didn't like this is if I am in Shara's footsteps, like I'm in her shoes, and these two men that sound like that talk about I'm your alpha, I would literally smack them up. Shut up. Why are you talking to me? Who are you, sir? You're not getting my goodies. I gotta go. Like it's one of those situations. But I don't know. I'm a little well, I'm spicy. I don't got time for that.
No, but
But
like I feel like the way they approach too, I would just feel like, too
it's like
easy.
yeah, it's like, I'm here to save you, my queen. I don't even know who you are. And then they would get mad. They were like, I am so mad that they never taught you. When were they going to teach her? Huh?
I was
When?
on the run, y'all.
Yeah, I was on the run, bro. Like, what did you expect? I'm mad that they didn't teach you about your strong lineage. Why don't you tell me, bitch? Except for yelling at me. Why are you yelling at me? I could not.
Yeah.
I would be so fucking upset
And I
because
feel
no, thank
like
you.
I know that Darren's gonna take an advantage of the fact that she doesn't know what she
Oh
should
yeah.
know because he's like the court
Mhm.
smart talker. He's very
Mhm.
strategic. He knows that that's his strategic like advantage is like
Mhm.
court duties. And so I feel like he would take liberties because he's already shown that he's taken liberties with her.
Oh yeah.
And maybe they do need a king around to like put his foot down and be like, oh no, you can't do that.
I I think I would be more enticed to read the next book, which I'm still going to because I want to figure what the heck is going to happen. But I
Yeah.
think it's a situation I would love to just be every chapter or just every book, people schooling and scolding Alric and Dare. I'm like, you need. When the fuck did y'all? Not in my house. You're not gonna talk to the new queen like that, even though she's stupid and nobody taught her nothing, even though she's not. But you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, even though she don't know about her lineage, you gotta respect that. And they're like, what? Like, shut up. I want them. I want her to be protected by the people that she assumes is out to get her,
Yeah.
and which probably is not the case. There's gonna be bad people, but I don't know. I don't know.
I am interested. Um I feel like there were hot moments. Like, okay, let's talk about spiciness.
Yeah.
I think Shara was living the dream. She's
Oh yeah.
rich. She has two guys that are like fawning over her that are hot.
Mhm.
Um, they're bisexual, so even better.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Mhm.
there were some things that I was just like, yes, that's bliss. I love that for
Mhm.
her.
Mhm.
Awesome.
What was your
Yes.
favorite spicy scene though?
Oh my god.
I'll
It's
tell you
gonna
mine
be
first if you want.
okay, because it might be the same one,
Yeah, I
but
think it's is it the one where they're on the bed where what the fuck is it? Is it Dare or Alric? Whoever is on no, it's she's on the bed. She's on the bed taking care of business
mhm.
and the two men are going at it and everybody's living in this moment. I'm like jealous. I ain't gonna lie, maybe this is why I'm very mad about the book. Maybe because I'm not living the best life.
Yeah, because
I'm like,
like he they were scared at first to show
yeah.
her like how they really are together,
Mhm.
and like how Arik was basically like, I'm gonna make him beg and I'm gonna be
Mhm.
rough with him and I'm like,
Oh, I love that
you're
so
gonna have to
much.
deal with it. But that's how we are. And they were
Yeah.
like hesitant at first, but like
Yeah.
she could feel the hesitation through the body. And she was like,
Mhm.
oh no, y'all go ahead,
Yeah,
do
go
your
off.
thing.
I love it.
And yeah, I thought that was the hottest moment
Mhm.
for
Me too.
sure, for sure. Because
I
even her reaction to it was like, because it was new for her to
yeah.
see. It was like, I don't know.
I like how she peeped game from the beginning, though, like their first encounter sexually. And she was like, oh, I guess they known each other before. And it's like that type
Mm-hmm.
of situation. You're like, okay, cool. But then, like, when Alric is like, nah, I need to dominate this man right quick, and fucking Dare's like, yes, please do it. Please hurry, please. And then they're like, wait, she's here. What do we do? And then she's like, nah, nah, nah. It's okay. Keep going. Me, I would have been in
Mm-hmm.
the corner with popcorn. I'm like, yeah, just here you go. Just keep going, babies.
But I know it seemed kind of cute the way like Arika's
Mhm,
like, oh, but what if she gets disgusted and decides, that we can't be together?
mhm,
Like that would suck. And you can tell that they're really close. But
mhm.
remember, we're talking about things that question their loyalty. They
Exactly.
never said that he was like, but I'm gonna do like he never really fully was like, but I'm gonna do whatever pleases her.
Yeah.
It was just the bond basically took over in that moment for
Well,
him. It was kind
I
of involuntary. Like
yeah. I
that's how I
think I
felt
don't know.
about it.
No, no, I agree. I think it's again, maybe that's a focal point we have to kind of like pinpoint. Maybe it's a clue to something. Because like I said, it really shows that like even though they're loyal, what does loyalty really mean? And at the end, are you loyal to yourself and your wants really first? Because again, with him, he's not a vampire. He's not Leviathan. He's a rock troll. The other one is a werecat. How does that really play into the vampire thing besides being submissive of some type? You know what I mean? And what does that really mean? Because the dominant is only strong because of the submissive. So I don't
Hmm.
know. I personally, I don't know.
I don't
I
know.
don't
I
trust
felt
these
like,
men's,
yeah, I
bro.
feel like there's room there for them to be like, mm-mm.
Yeah, like I ain't doing it. And the day they do that, I hope she kills him. That's it. And I think I hope so. I hope because you know what? Let me be a vampire queen, Leviathan, demon, whatever the hell. And I have all this power. I've been through so much bullshit, and I'm rich. I got a car. I got a house. Maybe I'm actually getting a new house. I'm gaining followers. I'm getting things like don't disrespect me, especially when you should know better. And that's the situation too. Like, and I think too, like going back to that scene where they're shopping, like even though I'm happy she stood up for herself, I still felt like it was forced from her.
Mm.
And I was just like, she's like, oh, look who you're talking to. I'm like, I would have said nothing. I'm like, oh, like put him on the head and tell him to sit the fuck down. You can't come into the room with me then. How about that?
Yeah.
Learn your place. I was just like, he should already know the situation because again, they have been in this lifestyle already. She hasn't.
Mm-hmm.
So
So he
again,
knew. He knew
exactly.
he was
He knew
pushing
his role.
boundaries.
And then he was just like testing the water. And again, I think, like we were talking about earlier, that's more than likely why I feel like was seeking her out because they want to have somebody they can manipulate.
Mm-hmm.
And if
And
that's the
mind
fucking.
you, they've
Mhm.
already gone back and forth with another
Yeah.
queen, and they said that they were her blood,
Yeah.
the other queen. So I'm like, at any
Mhm.
moment, if another queen shows up, they can flip flop back
Yeah.
over and be like, actually, this
Yeah.
is our
But
queen
the other
now.
guy was so fucking loyal. That's what's confusing me. Grayson, I think. Was this Grayson?
Grayson.
Grayson. He killed the other queen by accident, supposedly. Killed the other queen by accident because he was so addicted to her. He needed her. So my thing is that if you guys are connected to this queen now, to Shara, how really connected are you?
I
So
don't
I can't trust
know.
them. That's what I'm saying. I don't, man, I gotta read
I
the other
don't
book.
trust them completely.
I don't-
I
No.
feel like they're just like locked in with each other, and like
Yeah.
whatever Auric says is probably gonna go.
Hmm.
And even Auric was having some trouble dealing with like how much control Shara had over him.
Yeah.
So you could see that it was kind of like messing with him and his little
Yeah.
alphaness. But
Fucking rock troll.
I don't
That's fucking,
know.
I don't know. I don't know, girl. All I know is I enjoyed the book. My
Hmm.
rating of it personally is gonna be like personal rating of 3 out of 5.
That's fair.
Um, like I said, it's not the book is not terrible. It's not bad. Hey there, hi mamas. I'll see you Sunday. But thank you. So it's one of those situations where it's like I enjoy the book. I love the fact that they show um intimacies with men. I understand, and it's not like very, what is the word I'm looking for? What's the word? Not patronizing, but not very, what's the word? Just trying to say we have a gay character. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? I can't think of the phrase. And it's just like, oh yeah, we have two gay men. They love fucking, and that's it. And it's just like, no, like they love each other. There's something
Yeah.
but they don't even say love. But anywho, um, I just wish that everything wasn't feeling rushed at the end. I didn't like these little men. Oh my god, these men being sassy with their queen. Blah, 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 blah. I'm like, sir, shut up. Just shut. I was literally every time, and I listened to the audiobook for this. When I was listening to the audiobook, I was literally telling my phone to shut up. I was just like, shut up. Just shut up. Like, I would never. And I was like, again, she is the descendant of a goddess. She is, for all intents and purposes, she is Isis at this moment because she has all
Mm-hmm.
of Isis's gift. And they're all in all about that. So why do you think you can say something? And again, not saying it's dangerous. It's not like she's not asking for help. She's not, I don't know. I just felt like everything was a little rushed. I didn't like the fact that she had to suffer so much. I felt like it could have gone very quicker or gone a little quicker for the simple fact of, hey, her mom died. They could have found her then. And why did it take her so long? Why did it take them so long? Because the mom died when she was 17. She's 22.
Mm. Yeah.
Again, it's a plot. It's a plot. I'm sorry. I'm going through some things right now.
Yeah.
It's a plot.
There's a
I'm so
I
upset right now.
yeah. And I think I feel like this might be one of those situations that like the other books make up for, the problems that we're talking about. Because
Yeah.
I'm guessing that there's so much, the next books are going to be so jam packed with like events and characters and
Mhm.
things like that, that they had maybe didn't have a choice but to jam some of that into the end. I mean,
Yeah.
yeah. And that would make sense to me because I mean, they
Yeah.
introduced a lot. So it
No,
would
they
take
did.
a lot to get through all
I don't know, but
the
I feel like they could have
questions.
sprinkled a lot of this in beforehand though. Like, so
Exactly.
mind you, with like creating the world, right? So like going through the Leviathan situation, she could have found like some type of paperwork in the house. She could have found like what is it? A tapestry. Every fucking fantasy thing has this tapestry of great grandmom somewhere, and it shows fucking the lineage somehow or a secret clue. And they never, you know what I'm saying? Like there's different ways to go about it. I did like the fact that Grayson talked about it. He's like, yeah, I accidentally killed him. My bad. But like, she was starving me. But again, why was she starving you? Because if she left voluntarily, again, why didn't you find someone else?
Yeah.
And there is other queens. So I don't know.
That and
But
like one another critique I have, and I did like the book, so
yeah,
I feel like I'm just breaking over all the little things.
yeah.
But they were very careful about, writing very beautifully consensual scenes
Oh yeah.
together. However, like you said, some of the lore could have been sprinkled in earlier.
Hmm.
You take all that time to make sure the relationships between the men didn't seem patronizing. You took all the time to make sure that consent was there. But were they just in there shooting up the club the whole time?
No,
That
ma'am.
seems very irresponsible. So why at the end of the
Very
book, after
irresponsible.
she's already done the deed quite a few times at this point, now we're like, oh wait, you could be pregnant. I'm like, well, yeah, y'all been shooting up the club.
Well, but that was the thing too, is that because they said that because she said something about it before. And again, this goes to that manipulation thing. There's a theory too. They told her because she says, "Oh yeah, I don't think we should worry about pregnancy because vampires being dead and all." Mind you, that's her. They're not vampires, and he said, Alric says, um, "Yeah, you decide when you want to have a child. We don't like that's how your
Hmm.
body works." But then all of a sudden, they're like, "Oh yeah, you're just gonna you're pregnant. You possibility pregnant because that's the only way vampires because they don't get their period. And I'm like, again, why is this a situation? Like, why is this why are we not talking about that? Why was that not brought into thing? Because she, I believe, dictates that in the beginning. And mind you, it's only been a few days, a few weeks, that she's met up with the new people, the estate and the doctor, the lawyer and the doctor, but it's still a situation. I'm like, so nobody wanted to question? Is this something normal in her household? Is this something,
But
and
they
now like, oh yeah,
know
you might be
when she
pregnant.
got when she got to the house and they knew that they had a doctor in hand or whatever, she
Hmm.
already knew, the housekeeper already knew that they had already established that everyone was blood. So she knew what kind of activities that meant she was going to be having. So they should
Exactly.
have addressed that them, and like it would have flowed a lot better,
Mhm.
like than just shoving it
Yeah.
at the end of the thing. And then there would have
Yeah.
been more dialogue about it because
Mhm.
everything, all the things that were revealed were very shocking. And
Yeah.
so, but like Shara didn't really react. She was just like, "Oh, I burnt
Yeah.
up that dude, ha," and then it was just
Yeah.
like done. Like, "Oh,
Yeah.
we need another bed, ha ha ha." But I'm like, girl, you just realized that the mom that you've been mourning this
Mhm.
whole time is not your mom. You may or may not be pregnant. You are tied to something called the Leviathan. You pulled a dead druid's wing,
Yeah.
feather from a dream state. You know that
Mhm.
another blood is coming. Like there's so many things, and like she just did
It's
not
so much.
react.
Well, and that's the thing too, because even Alric reacts more than she does about all this stuff. And even like when she starts dreaming, because it's not the first time she dreamt about the druid. I think
Mm-hmm.
it was like the first time was something, and then like this one, and he was like, "I don't like you doing all that." Like, chill out. Chill out, bro. Why are you upset? But I will say another good, like, positive thing about, I love how they described her ability to like sense her area around her environment with the
Mm-hmm.
cloth. And like she was like, yeah, it's like fabric and it's this and that. I was like,
Like the
I love that.
tapestry.
Yeah, the tapestry. I was
Yeah.
like, I love that. One of my favorite, that's what really honestly got me into the book really quick. I was like, oh my God, I love that description. I never thought about that. And she'll take a moment to meditate, and she's mapping it out. And I'm like, I love this. And then, like, again, another situation too, which now brings me up to these motherfuckers being suspicious, is I think this is the whole show at this point. Is like, I'm just suspicious of everybody in this book besides our girl.
Yes.
But so again, she's been on the run for a very long time. So at least by herself since she was 17, she is 22 years old. She just started feeling, when she talks about this tapestry about her environment. She indicates that she feels the monsters, like darkness, like little blits of ink on the tapestry or something. However, her future bloods, in a sense, her connections, her bonds, her nights at this point are campfires. And I'm like, so wait a minute. Then she feels, at the end, she feels another campfire coming towards her. So I'm like, okay, cool. So apparently these individuals have been living way before her anyway, right? So did they just randomly decide that they were going to be part of her? And that's when she started to feel them? Do you get what I'm saying? So like in my
Yeah.
imagination, because that's how they, because it's like with the monsters, right? The monsters, she feels them all the time. They exist always. So how
Mm-hmm.
come we're only feeling, or she's only feeling the campfires when they want to claim her? But here's the thing, what makes that, how's that happen? So
Yeah.
do I have to wake up, if I want to be under her, do I have to be like, you know what, I'm gonna be with her today, this random queen, I don't know her name, I don't know anything, I just know that there's possibility one. And
That's
do I send a
right.
email, do I put an energy, like what do I, kamehameha, like what am I doing?
I
Am I
get,
super
yeah.
sailing up? I don't know.
Because I assumed, because like with Grayson,
Mhm,
after we learned like who he was and who he was to her
mhm,
mom, at first I was like, well, maybe he can find her because he was
mhm.
her mother's blood,
Yeah.
and she has the blood
Mhm,
of Isis So I'm like, oh, and all his thralls have, I think those are his blood,
Yeah.
right? So
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, I'm like, so they're connected by the Isis
Mm,
bloodline. So maybe that's why he could sense her. That's what I was thinking.
yeah.
But like you said, Ulrich and Dare aren't connected like that. Well, they weren't initially. So how can they
Yeah.
find her? And
But
now
this
we
even
have a new one.
before they even found her,
Yeah.
that's when all of a sudden she's like, yeah, I kind of I feel these random fireplaces. Oh my god, campfires. Found these random campfires on my tapestry. Found them on my tapestry. I wonder what that is. Gotta run soon. And I'm just like, but again, so how does that really work? I'm more intrigued about that at this moment. I want to know
Yeah.
how that all works because again, maybe it's something to give us like off a scent of something later on because maybe the um what is it, maybe the campfires are actually something bad while the monster's energy was something good because mind you, even though the guy went crazy, he didn't intentionally try to kill her
Yeah.
supposedly, right? So we just have to go off his word because like it to
Yeah.
me it makes sense, because if you're a starving animal, you're gonna feed too much. You're gonna
Yeah,
gorge
he was
yourself.
compelling. Like I was
Yeah.
like, you probably
And
told
also
the
like he
truth.
defended her too. He could have killed her. You know what I mean? Like he was like, first of all, y'all need to chill out.
Yeah.
And I don't know. Correcting the other men. But I think I don't know. I just thought it was very interesting. I would definitely try to read the other book. Because I want to figure things out. I hope they talk about this tapestry situation. I hope our boys ain't trying to harm our girl because
I
I'm
hope
gonna be
not.
upset. Hey, hey, hey. Thank you for
I
stopping by.
hello.
I love that. The
I
rascal sing. I love it. But no, mine's is this one. I always do this one. That was
so
in my
cute.
kawaii Lolita days. But but I don't know. Like I said, the book is definitely worth, but what would you rate it?
I think I rated it as a 3 as well.
Like I said, it's not a bad book. I enjoyed it for what it was worth. I just felt like again, we agreed. The ending was so much impact, so much compacted, and I'm just like, I wish you'd like kind of dribble that in. You know what I mean? You could have again a tap, and the book talks about tapestries in the beginning. You should have said, "Oh yeah, this was your great grandmother's tapestry," and it shows a Leviathan on there. It shows something else.
Mm.
Like again, like there's other ways that could have been done.
Yeah.
It could have been done where they kind of sprinkle this information in. And then again, when they ask her, hey, where have you been all this time? We were looking for you. And she's like, I've been on the run. Why are you on the run? Oh, because every once a month when I bleed, I get chased and hunted down. They're like, wait, you bleed again. That's how you would answer that question before pushing it to the end. Like, how did nobody talk about this? Because
Yeah.
that would be my first question. It's giving they don't really care. They're just they didn't know.
Or they weren't listening because I feel
Yeah,
like
they weren't
she
listening. Yeah.
tried to explain all of that.
Well, they really do try to like hush her because it also could be like they're kind of since she wasn't raised, I guess, in the lifestyle. But wait, see, but that doesn't make any sense either because they lived in that house. The lawyer lives there, or not lives there, but she knows of the estate. So so that means you had some kind of connection with the family. I'm not doing this. I'm not doing this. I'm gonna go into another rant and I don't want to. Look, everybody
I
read this book.
know.
Read this
Read the
book.
book. I love
Read the book.
Shara.
Shar is amazing. This is the book.
Yes.
Look at this cover. It's beautiful.
Beautiful.
Julie so Burkhart, read it. We love it. We are also still reading this book. I don't know Miss Jasmine is. I'm definitely gonna review it. Jazz has been a little busy. Okay. Both Jazzes have been busy.
Both
Ma'am, I
Jazz.
see you. I see you on your social medias. And I your shit every like 30 seconds because you're always online. And I love that. Go off. We love that. We love that. Me, same situation. I'm exhausted, but we are one of us, somebody is going to be reviewing this book only on Spotify. It's going to be uncensored. We're going to talk about all the nitty gritty titties and all. We're going to talk about all of it. However, we're also going to be discussing our new book soon. We actually picked this book. We want to change something a little more sweetie. We wanted to continue the whole polycule type relationship or poly relationship because that's what this is about. I'm gonna kind of read it real quick what
And
it's
there's
about.
orgs. Also, y'all,
Go ahead.
Made Black is Latino, and it's
Yes.
Hispanic Heritage Month,
Mm-hmm.
September 15th through October
October
15th.
15th.
And
Mm-hmm.
so this is
That's
a
why we
great
picked this book.
way for us to celebrate with you.
Exactly. We have a Latinx character with all these gorgeous individuals. I don't know
And
what they are. I don't know who is who, but I want them
I
all.
want them all. And
I
I
want
think
them
this
all.
has been released like recently, like last
Yeah,
month
this
or
is the most
so.
recent. I did not know. I was just doing I was like, first of all, eating
So
it.
I found this book on Threads and I was watching the art being done and I was
Oh
like,
wow.
who is this? I
Mhm.
love this
And the art
art.
is gorgeous.
Yeah.
The
And then
art
I
is
saw
gorgeous.
that it was gonna be a book and I was like, oh, I need to hear this. I
Say
read this
less.
book.
Say less. So yeah, so pretty much, and I love her name. Dulce is her name, which means like sweet, like some people say
Sweet.
like caramel, like sweet, sugary. So think of that for Dulce. So this is the description on the site. It's like Dulce has spent her entire life avoiding, and then it says love, happiness, and the things that make her feel alive weren't on the table. That all changes when she meets fate, and they come in the form of an ancient seraphim, a himbo okuron. I'm gonna say that's an orc, and a summer queen. Three mates
Ooh.
to change the course of her fate, life forever. If she, oh, excuse me, oh my gosh, the way they had this worded, it feels like everything's cutting off. The course of her life forever, if she lets them. One who convinces her to accept fate, another who forces her to fight for her happiness, and finally, the one who reminds her what sacrifice looks like. All three
Mm.
have her best interest at heart. Who will she allow to show her what love really is like, will fight for every turn? I thought that was a good concept too. I thought that was good because it's like, how many of us feel like we don't have the grace of everything, right? We don't have the ability to love. We don't have the ability to love, to find happiness, to all that. Thank you. For all that. So I thought this was a good concept as well. Not to mention, like, if you love those dating sims, I felt like to me that was the energy it was giving me off too. It's like, who do
Yeah.
you choose? And if you choose, what's gonna happen?
Yes.
So I love it. I love it. I can't wait to start reading this book. I know next week, of course, we're going to be doing a replay of this episode, but most likely on the 11th, we're going to be discussing this book. Pretty much, we're going to try the new format that we liked. I think so far we like it.
Yeah.
We're going to run it down for y'all. We are going to give the synopsis, the breakdown, the everything, and then we're going to just do a wrap up after. And if you guys read the book with us or you have any questions, you have anything, go ahead, support it. It's by Maeve Black. Maeve Black. You're going to go, they're on social media. They're on all that. Find it. I'm going to be posting it in our links and comments so you can go support other, especially, of course, always support POC, BIPOC authors, artists, everybody. However, this is Latinx month, right? Hispanic Heritage Month. Let's also try to support that because I ain't gonna lie, there's not many besides cartel books.
It was
And
hard.
as
I
they
know.
are, I was like, don't get me wrong. A girly loves some mobsters, a girly loves some gangster shit. We love all that. Give me a bad boy. However, where's the fantasy? Where is it? I think there's only one or two books.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure there's more, but maybe they're not published. Maybe they're only in Spanish. I don't know. But if you can hear us, everybody, if you have any books, if you have any recommendations,
I
please
did
let us know.
I did
Because
find
Mama
a
needs
bunch of Spanish, but like we
yeah,
need the translations.
yeah. Look, and I'm Puerto Rican and I don't speak Spanish, bro. I can sing it though, but I can't do nothing else.
I can
Don't
read
ask.
a little, but it's gonna take me a long time to
Yeah.
translate.
It's gonna
Yeah.
be eso el biblioteca. Sara is no buena. Like, I'm not gonna do that. I'm not gonna do that to y'all. Y'all don't need to suffer with me. But again, like, I want to put more forward to. I love the fact that black women, black artists, black authors are coming out more, where they're getting more recognition, and I love that so fucking much, because I'm tired of reading, again, no shade, I'm tired of reading about white people. I'm not white, I'm not size 2, I'm not none of that. I want more black and brown characters. I want them, and I don't want them to have like cringy ass names. Like, side note, there's nothing to do with our show. Just found out they released a new manga called something about Latina girl. And I'm like, okay, progression. We got a Latina character. Her name is Latina. They tried. I don't know. I haven't read it, so I can't really gauge it yet. But
It's
they were
like
like,
when they introduce like a really cool black character and they have the bubblegum pink lips, like the character
yeah.
face, and
But
I'm
like,
like,
why?
why?
Bro, it's so annoying. I know, we're really excited. Like, I like anything that's black and brown. I'm always an indigenous, anything that's not white, to be honest. For me, I am hyping it up. I am
And the
researching it.
fluffy
Yeah, and
protest.
the
I
fluffies.
love
First of
curvy
all, and I
girls.
love that, but that's been coming up a lot too. A lot of plus size characters, which I'm loving. Um, but it's a situation too. It's like, yeah, I can connect them on a fluffy level, but again, I don't eat I don't eat what they eat. I don't understand what their, that whole thing is. I want to feel a character that I can connect with. Like I said, like what we did with that time I got drunk, right? When the mom was yelling at the kids for breakfast, like we knew because that's
Yes.
what it is. Child 1, 2, older child, stop yelling at the girl child. Like, that's what we grew up with. You know what I mean? And still go through, if you hang out with your family. So I love that romance of it, that nostalgia. I want to feel connected to the character.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to keep fighting. I want us to do that. So if you guys have recommendations, if you guys know other artists that, or authors, I keep confusing the names, keep bring it to us, please. We want to know. We want fairies too. We want, first of all, I want a Mexican, like, de la Muerta. I want a book about that. I want that shit. Because
I
another
have a
thing too, not only,
comic. I have a
yeah, no,
comic that's one,
yeah, you
but
should
not
definitely.
regular.
No, you should give it to me because I love it. Because I love De La Muerta. There's actually a Crunchyroll exclusive anime or
Mm,
animated series that's about the Aztec, and they talk about like 𝓗𝓪𝓻𝓮, they talk about all of them. And it's actually
mm.
really, really good. The voice actor though, and I'm so sorry because I support you guys so fucking hard. I could not. I had to put it in Spanish in order to watch it because the English I
Mm.
could not. I was just like I was like Ezeal. I was like, if you don't shut the fuck up, shut up, you whiny little man. You know he's a child, I guess. But anyway, I'm rifting. Anyway, so my lovely Miss sweet Jazz, where can they find you?
Oh, by the way, that comic's called La Muerta, and it's by
Oh,
Coffin Comics. So
wait
definitely
a
check
minute.
it out. It's really cool.
Text it to me later.
Um,
Text it later because I will forget.
yeah, I'll send it to you. They're the same people that did Lady Death, so it's like really nice.
Ooh,
Yeah.
okay.
So yeah, check that out. I'm at 𝓵𝓵𝓻𝓮, Black Fade Official, Fabies and Friends, and Halcyon Crow on Instagram and other social
Oh,
media. So you can catch me there and
yep, yep,
see me
yep.
do fairy stuff. Yeah.
Fairy stuff. We love that. And you just celebrated BIPOC Fam Day.
Yes,
That was good.
did.
We had a great
Thank,
time. Everybody was great. You look
mhm.
gorgeous.
Thank
Everybody
you.
looked gorgeous. I was like, oh my god, that's my friend. Anyway, so let's go here. And of course, everybody. Wait, that's not me. But this is me. No, that's not me. Where's my name go?
Oh no,
There
we
we
need
go.
to obey
Oh,
Miss
I thought I
J.
did. Oh, that scared me. I thought I deleted it. Anyway, everybody, I'm Miss Giselle on all social media platforms. If it's me, if you see that name, it's usually me. I'm also on anything spicy or kink related. That's going to be Obey Miss J. And my other podcast that I am co-hosting. You're going to see us every Sunday. That is going to be Sexually Speaking. We have a spicy show this weekend. It's about DOMs and the types of DOMs. So show up. I'm also going to be, before we kind of break that down, I also have another announcement. I'm gonna be a part of, well, a guest on Black Girl Confidential. That's gonna be on tomorrow, I believe. Wait, don't get me lying. My brain hurts, girl. There we go. It's going to be on at 9 p.m. tomorrow. So you should come by and see the wonderful Black Girl Confidential group and all the lovely ladies that are going to be involved. Of course, make sure you check out Fabies and Friends podcast. Show, of course, love and support. And I think that's it. Oh, wait. No, yeah. Wait. There is more. Jazz is tired. I'm sorry, y'all. This is our friends. Hang out with the gang. We have HNIC Network on all platforms. Of course, Unicorn Universe Network on all platforms, but especially on IG at the moment. And if you have any questions, concerns, you want to collab with us, you want to tell us about books you like, you want to tell us how much you hate the books we pick, you should tell us. Tell us. Just talk I don't bite. I just, I'm annoying when I talk. That's all. But in a good way. In a very good way. In a big sisterly way. We appreciate you guys for coming down and enjoying the books with us. You guys have a great night. Happy Latinx Hispanic Heritage Month. And that's all. Everybody have a good one. Yeah. Anything else? Am I missing anything? I feel like I am. Okay. No. We're fabulous. Bye.
Bye.
Could you love her? A haunted house. Oh, could you love me now? A haunted I'm a haunted house. A haunted house. If you're too scared, get out. A haunted I'm a haunted house. Broken windows and a warning scribbled on my wall saying that you better turn around. Wouldn't be the first to try to burn me down. Your move, you too. Would you love me at my worst? Till the coffins in the dirt try to break me like a curse. You know that will never work. I'm a little bit absurd. I like dancing on the verge. Anyone can love a pretty little mansion. But could you love her?